Put your hands on the desk. Camilla, touch that laptop again, and I swear to God you'll be escorted out of Highgrove in handcuffs. What you're looking at right now is not a movie scene. This is the exact, raw, leaked audio from inside Highgrove House at 2:14 a.m. last night. Prince William didn't just catch Queen Camilla sneaking through King Charles's private vault. He caught her red-handed with a physical black binder and an encrypted hard drive, actively attempting to wipe a secret 20-year-old financial trail. And when King Charles walked into that room, saw the evidence, and realized his own wife had been secretly plotting behind his back, the king did the unthinkable. You lied to me for 20 years. Camilla, you didn't love me, you loved the crown. Guards, stripper security clearance immediately. Think about this. A sitting king just exposed his own queen in front of senior intelligence officers. But here's the most controversial part that the mainstream media is terrified to broadcast. What was written on page 14 of that black binder that made Prince William look Camilla straight in the eyes and whisper, "You're going to prison for this." If you skip this video right now, you will never find out what Camilla tried to erase before sunrise. Stay right where you are, because this leaked tape changes the British monarchy forever. To truly understand the pure venom and absolute hatred that exploded inside Highgrove House last night, we have to pull back the velvet curtains of the royal household and look at the sinister timeline that mainstream news channels have been paid to ignore for decades. This was never just a sudden family feud. This was a 30-year Cold War, built on dark secrets, quiet betrayals, and a ruthless power struggle that was always destined to end in blood and scandal. The unspoken war inside Buckingham Palace. For over 20 years, the British public was fed a carefully constructed fairy tale. We were told that King Charles and Camilla were star-crossed lovers who finally found peace after decades of public backlash. We were told that the palace had healed, that Diana's shadow was gone, and that Camilla had earned her spot as queen consort through patience and quiet dignity. It was all an absolute lie. Behind closed doors, the reality was a living nightmare. Ever since Queen Elizabeth II passed away, the dynamic within the royal family transformed into a high-stakes chessboard. Senior palace insiders, speaking strictly under condition of total anonymity, have revealed that Prince William never, for a single second, trusted Camilla. To William, she wasn't just his father's second wife. She was the ultimate manipulator who ruined his mother, Princess Diana's life, infiltrated the royal family, and spent years positioning her own family members into key financial roles within the royal estates. Dialogue cut, leaked audio from a senior royal butler, voice low and trembling. You could feel the tension in the hallway every time Prince William entered the same room as Camilla. He never called her Your Majesty. He called her Camilla. The king was always stuck in the middle, blind to the snake slithering right next to him on the sofa. The hidden financial web at Highgrove. While King Charles was focused on his public duties, foreign trips, and environmental causes, Camilla was quietly building an empire of her own in the shadows. But she wasn't doing it alone. Over the past 3 years, billions of pounds flowing through private royal duchy accounts began showing microscopic discrepancies. Funds meant for royal charities, palace restorations, and historic preservation were quietly passing through a labyrinth of private offshore trusts registered in Jersey, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. And who was managing these trusts? Not official royal treasurers, but private legal advisors directly appointed by Camilla herself. Prince William, who took over the massive duchy of Cornwall estate after his grandmother's passing, began noticing strange red flags in late 2024. Audits showed missing documentation for multi-million-pound land deals, unexplained transfers to obscure holding companies, and worst of all, confidential royal estate records that were being accessed late at night from unauthorized IP addresses inside Camilla's private living quarters. The war officially went hot 3 weeks ago when Prince William's personal security team intercepted an encrypted email sent from a satellite phone inside Highgrove House. The email was routed through an anonymous server in Zurich, containing sensitive details about King Charles's private health records, personal will amendments, and property distribution plans. She's not just moving money around. Dad, she's preparing for what happens after you're gone. She is gutting the state from the inside out, and you're letting her get away with it. King Charles, loyal to a fault and deeply devoted to his wife, refused to believe at first. He brushed off William's warnings, calling them paranoia and lingering resentment from the Diana days. Charles begged his son to drop the investigation for the sake of the monarchy's public image. Audio effect. Sudden sharp screeching violin stroke, followed by heavy bass resonance. That was Charles's biggest mistake. Because King Charles's refusal to act forced Prince William to take matters into his own hands. William bypassed traditional palace protocol, hired a top-tier private cyber forensics firm out of London, and set a deadly trap inside Highgrove House. A trap that Camilla walked straight into at 2:14 a.m. last night, setting off a chain reaction that would force a heartbroken king to finally open his eyes and face the ultimate betrayal. The rain was pouring relentlessly over Highgrove House as the clock hit 2 a.m. The entire estate was plunged into total darkness, save for the faint, flickering glow emanating from King Charles's private ground floor study. Camilla thought the palace was completely asleep. She thought the security staff were on their routine outer perimeter sweep, wearing a dark overcoat, carrying a sleek leather briefcase and a high-speed encrypted data-wiping device. She quietly unlocked the king's heavy oak door, slipped inside, and closed it behind her without making a sound. She had no idea that every single inch of that room was being monitored live in 4K night vision by Prince William and an elite royal cybersecurity team stationed in a covert mobile unit parked 3 miles away. Camilla moved swiftly toward the hidden wall safe behind the king's portrait. She entered a 6-digit master code, opened the heavy steel door, and pulled out 2 physical items. A thick black leather binder labeled Private Royal Holdings, 1997 to 2026, and an encrypted silver hard drive containing decades of confidential financial ledgers. She plugged the silver drive into a military-grade data-wiping laptop. The screen flashed bright red. Purge in progress. 42% completed. Step away from the terminal. Camilla, don't you dare touch that keyboard. Prince William burst into the room like a hurricane, flanked by 2 armed royalty protection group officers. Camilla gasped, violently flinching backward as the physical binder slipped from her hands, scattering sensitive bank statements, wire transfers, and private offshore agreements across the polished hardwood floor. Did you really think I wouldn't notice the bandwidth spikes on the Highgrove server? Did you really think you could wipe 30 years of corruption before sunrise? Camilla quickly recovered her composure, her eyes narrowing into cold, arrogant steel as she smoothed down her coat. You are trespassing in your father's private study, William. Lower your voice and leave this room before I have Charles strip you of your duties. You have no authority here. He does have the authority, Camilla. Out of the shadows stepped King Charles himself. His face was pale, his eyes red from sheer exhaustion and disbelief. He had been watching the live video feed from the security room with William for the past 20 minutes. The heartbreaking confrontation. Charles stood in the doorway, staring at the woman he had loved for over 50 years, the woman he fought the entire world for, standing over a pile of destroyed royal records with a data-wiping drive in her hand. Tell me it's not true, Camilla. Tell me you didn't come in here to burn my estate. Look me in the eye and tell me my son is lying. Camilla stood frozen. For the first time in her life, the queen consort had no answer. She tried to step toward Charles, reaching out her hand. Charles, darling, listen to me. William is manipulating this. He planted those files. He's trying to ruin us. Don't touch him. William roared, stepping directly between Camilla and his father. Look at the screen, Dad. Look at where those offshore accounts were routing the money. William pointed a trembling finger at the laptop screen. And that was the exact second the ultimate, horrifying truth was exposed. King Charles walked slowly toward the desk, picked up one of the printed wire transfer sheets from the floor, and put on his reading glasses. He expected to see money being siphoned off to offshore tax havens or private properties. But as his eyes scanned the recipient names on the Swiss banking receipts, his jaw dropped in utter terror. The funds weren't just being hidden in private bank accounts. Camilla had been secretly channeling tens of millions of pounds directly into a high-stakes media smear campaign against Prince William and Princess Catherine for the past 7 years. Audio effect. High-pitched ringing feedback. Heartbeat accelerating rapidly. Every vicious tabloid leak. Every viral attack video. Every insider story that brought Kate to tears and pushed William to the brink. was directly funded, orchestrated, and signed off by Queen Camilla herself using the king's own private royal funds. You paid them. You paid the tabloids to destroy my son's family. You monster. Camilla didn't flinch. She looked Charles dead in the eye, her cold expression turning into a ruthless, chilling smile. I did what I had to do to secure my position, Charles. Because if William takes that throne, I am nothing, and you are too weak to ever stop me. As the metallic fragments of smashed hard drives scattered across the hearth, Camilla thought she had destroyed the evidence forever. She stood tall, a chilling, triumphant smirk on her face. But Prince William didn't panic. He slowly reached into his suit jacket, pulled out an iPad, and tapped the screen with an icy composure that sent a sudden spike of dread straight through Camilla's spine. The cloud backup and the unthinkable file. Did you really think I'd leave the primary source on a physical drive, Camilla? Everything on that disk was cloned live to a secure cloud server 45 minutes ago. William turned the tablet toward King Charles. The screen displayed a massive database folder titled Project Monarch, Public Influence and Leaks, 2018 to 2026. As King Charles scrolled through digitized files, his face drained of all color. It wasn't just bank records or paid tabloid receipts. Folder after folder contained thousands of encrypted audio recordings, text threads, and direct wire confirmations between Camilla's private secretary and 4 media executives. Then, Charles's thumb hovered over a file labeled with a date that made his heart stop. August 31st, 1997. The second shocking reveal, Diana's redacted dossier. What is this, Camilla? Why do you have Princess Diana's original Paris accident dossier in your private encrypted vault? The room went completely dead. Prince William stepped forward, his eyes locked onto Camilla with pure, unadulterated fury. She didn't just leak stories about Kate and me, Dad. Look at the timestamp on those documents. Camilla bought these classified investigation files from corrupt international investigators over 15 years ago. William took the iPad and opened the main memo attached to the file, reading the highlighted text out loud in front of the palace security officers. Document 4B, confirmation payment to suppress key eyewitness statements regarding the trailing vehicles, requested by C. Parker Bowles. You didn't just move on from my mother's death, Camilla. You paid to keep the true timeline buried so you could marry the king. Camilla's arrogant smile instantly vanished. Her breath caught in her throat as she realized the horror of what had just been exposed. Before she could speak, King Charles reached out, grabbed the master key card from her coat desk, and threw them onto the floor. Get out! Security. Seize her phones, lock down her quarters at Clarence House, and revoke her diplomatic immunity immediately. You are stripped of all royal duties as of this exact second. At 3:10 a.m., word leaked to the international press. Within 20 minutes, the hashtag exposed Camilla crossed 50 million impressions on X, breaking servers worldwide as global news outlets cut their live broadcast to announce emergency coverage. Inside Highgrove, Camilla was escorted out under heavy security. But as she passed Prince William, she leaned in and whispered 5 shocking words that turned the entire victory into a brand new nightmare. By 5 a.m., the story had broken through every media embargo in the world. The report that King Charles had personally stripped Camilla of her royal clearance, combined with leaks regarding the buried 1997 Diana dossier, ignited an absolute media nuclear explosion. The world woke up to a royal crisis, unlike anything seen in modern history. Outside Buckingham Palace and Highgrove House, thousands of angry citizens began gathering despite the pouring rain. Banners reading "Justice for Diana" and "Expose the Truth" spanned perimeter fences. The Metropolitan Police were forced to issue a level 4 emergency lockdown across central London as massive crowds blocked key thoroughfares. We are receiving unprecedented reports from across the globe. Protests have erupted outside British embassies in Canberra, Ottawa, and Washington, D.C. The public backlash against Camilla is total, instantaneous, and mathematically off the charts. In the corporate world, the reaction was swift and brutal. Within hours, high fashion houses, international charities, and heritage foundations began silently purging Camilla's name and portrait from their official websites to protect their brands. Major media networks immediately canceled planned documentaries, and interviews featuring the Queen Consort. A prominent crisis publicist in London leaked an internal memo sent to international broadcast executives. Dialogue cut. Leaked audio from senior media executive. Camilla's brand isn't just damaged, it is utterly toxic. Nobody will air her content. Nobody will host her events. William and Charles have drawn a hard line, and the industry is siding entirely with William. On social media, the chaos reached unprecedented levels. The hashtag exposed Camilla's smashed global records with over 120 million posts across X, TikTok, and Instagram in under 3 hours. Online communities split into fierce, heated debates. At Diana Legacy 2026, Prince William finally finished what started 30 years ago. Camilla got caught red-handed, and her time is officially up. At Monarchy Observer, King Charles exposing his own wife live to security detail is the ultimate heartbreak. The British monarchy will never recover from this level of betrayal. As the world demanded immediate answers, the gates of Clarence House remained tightly sealed, with Camilla trapped inside, waiting for the final blow as the clock ticked closer to morning. By 7 a.m., the cold light of dawn pierced through the stained glass windows of Highgrove. Inside the main study, the air was suffocating. King Charles sat behind his desk, head buried in his hands, completely broken by the absolute collapse of his 30-year marriage. Prince William stood near the window, watching the police unit seal off the outer perimeter. The legal surrender documents and title revocation papers were printed and waiting on the desk for Charles's final signature. The doors clicked open, guarded by senior intelligence officers. Camilla walked into the room one last time to collect her personal belongings before her mandatory transport to Clarence House under house arrest. She walked with terrifying, unbothered calm. No tears, no regret, no fear. William stepped forward, sliding the revocation papers toward her alongside a pen. Sign them, Camilla. Give up the titles. Vacate royal properties by noon and stay quiet. It's over. You lost. Camilla didn't touch the pen. Instead, a slow, sinister smirk spread across her face as she looked directly into William's eyes. You really think you caught me red-handed today, don't you, William? You think this whole sting operation was your idea? The shocking final reveal. William's eyes narrowed. The server logs don't lie. We tracked your IP for weeks. Camilla let out a quiet, chilling laugh that made the temperature in the room plummet to absolute sub-zero. I wanted you to find that hard drive today, William. Why do you think I entered the study at 2 a.m. without changing the vault access code? I activated that data wiping program to lure you and your father into this exact room at this exact hour. King Charles raised his head, his eyes widening in pure horror. What are you talking about, Camilla? Charles choked out. Camilla pulled a small, glowing red transmitter device from her coat pocket. A live satellite signal relay. While you two were busy staging your little heroic raid in this study, my team successfully executed an emergency override on the Duchy of Cornwall Central Ledger. The moment William logged onto my server with his master key, he unwittingly authorized the transfer of every secret royal asset directly to an irrevocable offshore trust. The ultimate cliffhanger. William snatched his tablet, his hands trembling as he refreshed the security portal. The screen flashed a bright, blinding warning. All administrative access suspended. Duchy funds transferred. Prince William looked up, his face completely drained of color as the brutal reality hit him. You didn't expose me, William. You just handed me the entire monarchy on a silver platter. See you in court. As Camilla walked out under police escort, William stood frozen in absolute shock, holding the tablet as the screen cut to black.